Top of the day, beautiful people. Top of the day. Betwabu, Betwabu. It is Wednesday, January 29, 2020, day 58, and we are reading Deuteronomy 19, 20, and 21. We're talking about a few things today, cities of refuge, and cities of refuge is the first thing that we're going to talk about, but it's going into a couple other regulations and what to do and what not to do. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. Betwabu. Turn it down in there, y'all. Okay. Deuteronomy chapter 19. When Yahuwah thy God hath cut off the nations whose land Yahuwah thy God hath given thee, thou succeedest them, and thou dwell in their cities and in their houses. Thou shalt separate 3 cities for thee in the midst of thy land, which Yahuwah thy God give thee to possess. Thou shalt prepare thee a way, and divide the coast of thy land, which Yahuwah thy God give thee to inherit, into 3 parts, that every slayer may flee thither. And this is the case of the slayer which shall flee thither, that he may live. Whoso killeth his neighbor ignorantly, whom he have not hated in past time, as when a man goeth into the wood with his neighbor to as a man goeth into the wood with his neighbor to hew wood, and his hand fetcheth a stroke with the axe to cut down the tree, and the head slippeth from the helve, and lighteth upon his neighbor that he die, he shall flee unto one of those cities and live. So he's pretty much saying, if you're out there with a friend and you chopping down a tree for some wood, and axe head slip off the handle and it hits him and kills him by mistake, then the guy who killed him by mistake should flee until one of those cities and live. Lest the avenger of the blood pursue the slayer while his heart is hot, and overtake him because the way is long, and slay him, whereas he was not worthy of death, insomuch as he hated him not in time past. Wherefore I command thee, saying, Thou shalt separate 3 cities for thee. And if Yahuwah thy God enlarge thy coast, as he hath sworn unto thy fathers, and give thee all the land which he promised to give unto thy fathers, if thou shalt keep all these commandments to do them, which I command thee this day, to love Yahuwah thy God, and to walk ever in his ways, then thou shalt add 3 cities more for thee besides these 3, that innocent blood be not shed in thy land, where Yahuwah thy God giveth thee for an inheritance, and so blood be upon thee. But if any man hate his neighbor, and lie in wait for him, and rise up against him, and smite him mortally, that he die, and fleeth into one of these cities, then the elders of the city shall send and fetch him thence, and deliver him into the hand of the avenger of blood, that he may die. Thine eye shall not pity him, but thou shalt put away the guilt of innocent blood from Israel or Yisrael, that it may go well with thee. Thou shalt not remove thy neighbor's landmark, which they of old time have set in thine inheritance, which thou shalt inherit in the land, that Yahuwah thy God giveth thee to possess it. 1 witness shall not rise up against a man for any iniquity or for any sin, and any sin that he sinneth. At the mouth of 2 witnesses or at the mouth of 3 witnesses shall the matter be established. If a false witness rise up against any man to testify against him that which is wrong, then both the men between whom the controversy is shall stand before Yahuwah, before the priests and the judges, which shall be in those days. And the judges shall make diligent inquisition, and behold, if the witness be a false witness, and have testified falsely against his brother, then shall he do unto him, and he had thought to have done unto his brother, so shalt thou put the evil away from among you. And those which remain shall hear and fear, and shall henceforth commit no more any such evil among you. And thine eye shall not pity, but life shall go for life, eye for eye, tooth for tooth, hand for hand, foot for foot. Chapter 20 of Deuteronomy. When thou goest out to battle against thine enemies, and seize horses and chariots and the people more than thou, be not afraid of them, for Yahuwah thy God is with thee, which brought thee up out of the land of Egypt. That's why, Boo Trina. And it shall be, when you are come nigh unto battle, that the priest shall approach and speak unto the people, and shall say unto them, Hear, O Israel, ye approach this day unto battle against your enemies. Let not your heart faint. Fear not, and do not tremble, neither be ye terrified because of them. For Yahuwah your God is he that goeth with you to fight for you against your enemies to save you. And the officer shall speak unto the people, saying, What man is there that hath built a new house, and hath not dedicated? Let him go and return to his house, lest he die in the battle, and another man dedicate it. And what man is he that hath planted a vineyard, and hath not yet eaten of it? Let him also go and return unto his house, lest he die in the battle, and another man eat of it. And what man is there that hath betrothed a wife, and hath not taken her? Let him go and return unto his house, lest he die in the battle, and another man take her. And the officer shall speak further unto the people, and they shall say, What man is there that is fearful and faint-hearted? Let him go and return unto his house, lest his brethren's heart faint, as well as his heart. And it shall be, when officers have made an end of speaking unto the people, that they shall make captains of the armies to lead the people. When thou come nigh into a city to fight against it, then proclaim peace unto it. And it shall be, if it make the answer of peace and open unto thee, then it shall be that all the people that is found therein shall be tributaries unto thee, and they shall serve thee. And if it will make no peace with thee, but make war against thee, then thou shalt besiege it. And when Yahuwah thy God hath delivered it into thine hand, thou shalt smite every male thereof with the edge of the sword. But the women and the little ones and the cattle and all that is in thy city, even all the spoil thereof, shalt thou take unto thyself, and thou shalt eat the spoil of thy enemies, which Yahuwah thy God hath given thee. Thus shalt thou do unto all the cities which are very far from thee, which are not of the cities of these nations, but of the cities of these people, which Yahuwah thy God doth give thee for an inheritance. Thou shalt save alive nothing but that breath. Let me read that again. But of the cities of these people, which Yahuwah thy God doth give thee for an inheritance, thou shalt save alive nothing that breathe. Oh, okay. But thou shalt utterly destroy them, namely the Hittites and the Amorites and the Canaanites and the Perizzites and Hivites and the Jebusites, and Yahuwah thy God hath commanded thee, as Yahuwah thy God hath commanded thee, that they teach you not to do after their abominations which they have done unto their gods, so ye would sin against Yahuwah your God. When thou shalt besiege a city a long time, and making war against it to take it, thou shalt not destroy the trees thereof by forcing an axe against them, for thou mayest eat of them, and thou shalt not cut them down. For the tree of the field is man's life, to employ them in the siege. Only the trees which thou knowest that be... What? As I'm reading fast. Hold on. Read too fast. Verse 19, I read again. When thou shalt besiege a city a long time, and making war against it to take it, thou shalt not destroy the trees thereof by forcing an axe against them, for thou mayest eat of them, and thou shalt not cut them down. For the tree of the field is man's life, to employ them in the siege. Okay. Only the trees which thou knowest that they be not trees for meat, thou shalt destroy and cut them down. And thou shalt build bulwarks against the city that maketh war with thee until it be subdued. Okay, my thinking in my mouth hadn't caught up to each other yet. Okay, so they was only cutting down the trees that didn't bear fruit for the people to eat. All right, last chapter for today. Deuteronomy chapter 21. If one be found slain in the land which Yahuwah thy God give thee to possess it, lying in the field, and it be not known who hath slain him, thy elders and thy judges shall come forth, and they shall measure unto the cities which are round about him that is slain. And it shall be that the city which is next unto the slain man, even the elders of that city shall take a heifer which hath not been wrought with, and which have not drawn in the yoke. And the elders of that city shall bring down the heifer unto a rough valley, which is neither eared nor sown, and shall strike off the heifer's neck there in the valley. And the priests, the sons of Levi, shall come near, for them Yahuwah thy God hath chosen to minister unto him, and to bless the name of Yahuwah, and by their word shall every controversy and every stroke be tried. And all the elders of that city that are next unto the slain man shall wash their hands over the heifer that is beheaded in the valley. And they shall answer and say, Our hands have not shed this blood, neither have our eyes seen it. Be merciful, O Yahuwah, unto thy people Israel, whom thou hast redeemed, and lay not innocent blood unto thy people of Israel's charge. And the blood shall be forgiven them. So shalt thou put away the guilt of innocent blood from among you, when thou shalt do what is right in the sight of Yahuwah. When thou goest forth to war against thine enemy, and Yahuwah thy God hath delivered them into thine hands, and thou hast taken them captive, and seest among them a beautiful woman, and hast desire unto her, that thou would have her to wife, and thou shalt bring her home to thine house, and she shall shave her head, and pare her nails, and she shall put a raiment of her captivity off from her, and shall remain in thine house, and bewail her father and her mother for a full month. And after that thou shalt go in unto her, and be her husband, and she shall be thy wife. And it shall be, if thou have no delight in her, then thou shalt let her go whither she will, but thou shalt not sell her at all for money. Thou shalt not make merchandise of her, because thou hast humbled her. If a man have two wives, one beloved and another one hated, and they both have borne him children, both the beloved and the hated, and if the firstborn be hers that was hated, then it shall be, when he maketh his sons to inherit that which he hath, that he may not make the son of the beloved of the firstborn of the son he hated, which is indeed the firstborn, but he shall acknowledge the son of the hated for the firstborn, by giving him a double portion of that which he hath, for he is the beginning of his strength. The right of his firstborn is his. If a man have a stubborn and rebellious son, which would not obey the voice of his father or the voice of his mother, and that when they have chastened him will not hearken unto them, then shall his father and his mother lay hold on him, and bring him out unto the elders of his city, and unto the gate of his place. And they shall say unto the elders of the city, This our son is stubborn and rebellious, and he will not obey our voice. He is a glutton and a drunkard. And all the men of the city shall stone him with stones, that he die. So thou shalt put away the evil from among you, and all of Israel shall hear and fear. And if a man have committed a sin worthy of death, and he be put to death, thou shalt hang him on a tree. His body shall not remain all night upon the tree, but thou shalt in any wise bury him that day. For he that is hanged is accursed by God, that the land be not defiled, which Yahuwah thy God give thee for an inheritance. Okay, beautiful people. Oh, sorry about my reading for today. Okay. All right, y'all. So we are going to go ahead and close this out, because I have to get out of here today. Give me 1 second, y'all. Find myself getting all teary-eyed thinking about a friend today. Whew. Okay. Trina, you probably the only one up here that know. Reading that just... Okay. Okay, y'all. So let me read this lesson. I'll recap. It is Wednesday, January the 29th, 2020, day 58. And we read Deuteronomy 19, 20, and 21. All right, y'all. May Yahuwah bless us and keep us. May Yahuwah make his face to shine upon us and be gracious unto us. May Yahuwah lift up his countenance upon us and give us his peace. All right, y'all. I love y'all, and I will see you in the morning. Peace.